Hi, I'm James, and today we're looking at one of the most iconic attack helicopters ever built, the AH64 Apache Longbow, although this is the British AH Mark I variant. It's a proper brute of a machine with a reputation for bringing an overwhelming amount of firepower to the fight. Fast, low, and utterly lethal. Let's get stuck in. Now, straight away, what hits you is how purposeful the whole thing looks. This is the business end, the nose. It's absolutely rammed full of sensors. That big ball on the front, that's the Target Acquisition and Designation Site, or TADS, paired with a pilot night vision sensor. That's how they find and fix targets in pretty much any weather, day or night. Not just flashy tech, this stuff works and is battle proven. And a quirky fact for you, the optics turret on the early Apaches could actually melt if the sun hit them just right. Crews had to keep covers on them when parked or risk cooking the internals. High tech, but not sunproof. So moving to the twin-seat tandem cockpit, pilot in the back, gunner at the front. Both have full flight controls, but it's usually the pilot flying, the gunner working the weapons. Visibility is superb. Loads of flat plate armor glass designed to take hits and keep flying. Gives it a look like an insect, however. And fun fact, Apache pilots don't use a joystick like an aircraft. They've got something called a collective and a cyclic. Sounds like a Victorian bicycle race, but it works. Left hand for your engine power, right for flight direction. It's very, very hard to do. Try rubbing your stomach and patting your head to get a feel for it. Now, with it being a bit different to the American version, the British version has got different engines. The helicopters are built under license by Augusta Westland, and the Rolls-Royce engines were actually designed for better cold weather performance, but there were also folding rotors to allow shipboard use and British data links, comms and avionics. Weapon-wise, there's the M20 chain gun, sorry, M230 chain gun, 30mm, linkless feed, fires about 600 rounds a minute. It's slave to the gunner's helmet. Wherever they look, this follows. That is frightening to see for real. It's terrifyingly accurate, and just one part of this very nasty puzzle. But a little bit of mad detail. The gun can't actually shoot directly forwards while on the ground. And that was deliberate, so it didn't accidentally shred the ground crew. Now the wings, this is where things get serious. 4 hardpoints, typically loaded with a mix of Hellfire missiles, Hydra 70 rockets, and sometimes external fuel tanks. And you can get 16 Hellfires on here, 4 on each mount. Each one laser guided, armor piercing, and capable of ruining a tank crew's entire day. Alternatively, the 70mm rockets, and you've got the ability to engage multiple targets in rapid succession. Nothing subtle about it. That's overwhelming firepower applied with absolute precision. And another quirky fact, despite being an absolute tank buster, the Apache can actually carry air-to-air missiles. Yeah, it's been flown with Stingers for self-defense. Not common, but imagine the look on a fighter pilot, or probably more likely, the hind pilot's face. Now, in British service, they've been put to good use. So far, they've fired over 100,000 rounds, over 400 Hellfire missiles during operations in Afghanistan, and they've also operated from HMS Ocean during the conflict in Libya, flying combat missions straight off the deck. It's the first time since World War II the British Army aircraft have actually conducted operations from a Royal Navy warship. But what makes the Longbow a longbow? It's the dome above the rotor. That's an AN APG-78 fire control radar, Gives the Apache a look, shoot, hide capability. Pop up from cover, scan for targets, assign them, fire and drop back. All without showing much more than the radar dome. Now it can actually track over 100 targets and prioritize 16 of them in seconds. In combat, that sort of time is gold dust, and it's part of what made the Longbow the gold standard for attack helicopters in the 2000s. And I mentioned earlier that the rotors could actually fold, and that was done so that it would fit in Royal Navy hangars, making it ideal for littoral operations. Not something the Americans have ever needed. The Marines could use the AH1 due to its small size, but from the UK's perspective, absolutely ideal. Further back, there's the narrow, low-profile tail boom, all about minimizing target area. Tail rotor's offset so you get better yaw control and reduces the IR signature. This is all about survival. And the Apache has been known to fly on one engine, half a tail, bullet holes, and still land fine. Yeah, it's basically the Terminator in helicopter form. So that's the AH-1 Apache Longbow, and it's seen plenty of combat use in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya, but it's now moving on to the new version in the UK, which is the AH64E Guardian, which is even more capable. But it's already earned its place in modern military history. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, give us a like, a comment, and subscribe for more walkarounds like this. And if you've got something you think I ought to look at, let me know and we'll see what we can do in another video. See you next time.